The battles that built Alexander's empire. Alexander the Great's empire did not come into being by mere chance. It was forged on the battlefields of Asia, where he faced forces far larger and often more powerful than his own. Yet, with unparalleled strategic brilliance and relentless ambition, Alexander led his army to victory after victory. Here is the story of the battles that built his empire and cemented his legacy as one of history's greatest military leaders. Chapter 1. The Battle of Granicus, a first step into Asia. In 334 BCE, Alexander crossed the Hellespont into Asia with an army of 35,000 soldiers, launching his campaign against the Persian Empire. His first significant encounter was at the Granicus River, where a Persian army awaited him on the opposite bank. The Persian forces hoped to stop Alexander before he could advance further into Asia, but the young king was determined to secure a decisive victory. Ignoring the dangers of a direct assault across the river, Alexander personally led his cavalry into the rushing waters, crossing under a hail of Persian arrows. His audacity inspired his men, who followed him into battle, cutting through the Persian lines with a disciplined force. Alexander's companion cavalry struck with deadly precision, and the Macedonian phalanx followed, pushing back the Persian forces. The victory at Granicus sent a clear message. Alexander was a force to be reckoned with. The Persian satraps, stunned by his boldness, retreated, leaving Asia Minor open for Alexander's army. Granicus was the first step in a journey that would change the course of history, and it established Alexander's reputation as a fearless and brilliant commander. Chapter 2. The Siege of Halicarnassus, Strategy and Persistence. Following his victory at Granicus, Alexander continued his advance through Asia Minor, liberating Greek cities along the coast. However, the fortified city of Halicarnassus, with its strong Persian garrison, presented a formidable challenge. The city's high walls and Persian reinforcements made a direct assault nearly impossible. Undeterred, Alexander laid siege to Halicarnassus, employing a combination of siege towers, battering rams, and catapults. He methodically weakened the city's defenses, while his engineers worked tirelessly to breach the walls. After several months of relentless assault, Halicarnassus fell, solidifying Macedonian control over Asia Minor. The siege of Halicarnassus showcased Alexander's patience and strategic adaptability. He knew when to use force and when to rely on siege tactics, demonstrating that he could conquer even the most fortified positions. This victory further secured his foothold in Asia and opened the path southward, toward the heart of the Persian Empire. Chapter 3. The Battle of Issus, facing King Darius III. In 333 BCE, Alexander advanced into Cilicia, where he encountered the Persian king, Darius III, at the Battle of Issus. Darius had amassed a massive army, far larger than Alexander's, confident that sheer numbers would overwhelm the Macedonians. However, Darius had chosen a narrow valley for the battle, a terrain that neutralized his advantage. Alexander capitalized on this tactical error. Placing his phalanx in the center, he stationed his companion cavalry on the right flank, ready to exploit any gaps in the Persian line. As the battle commenced, Alexander saw an opportunity and led his cavalry in a daring charge toward Darius's position. The Macedonian phalanx held firm, creating a shield wall that the Persian infantry couldn't breach. When Darius saw Alexander approaching, he panicked and fled the battlefield, abandoning his army. The Persian forces, seeing their leaders retreat, collapsed into chaos. Alexander's victory at Issus was both a strategic and psychological triumph, sending shockwaves across Persia and establishing him as a legitimate threat to Darius's empire. Chapter 4. The Siege of Tyre, Overcoming Impossible Odds. Following his victory at Issus, Alexander continued southward to the coastal city of Tyre, a well-fortified Phoenician city located on an island. Tyre's strategic location and powerful navy made it a significant obstacle, and when the Tyrians refused to surrender, Alexander prepared for one of his most challenging sieges. The city lay half a mile offshore, separated from the mainland by deep waters. Alexander ordered his engineers to construct a massive causeway, allowing his troops to reach the island. For 7 grueling months, the Macedonians battled Tyrian defenses, with Tyre setting the causeway aflame multiple times. But Alexander persisted, rebuilding and reinforcing the structure. Finally, with the help of a fleet provided by allied Greek cities, Alexander launched a full-scale assault on Tyre. His forces breached the walls, capturing the city after months of relentless fighting. The fall of Tyre sent a powerful message to the rest of the Persian Empire. No city, no matter how fortified, could withstand Alexander's determination and ingenuity. Chapter 5. The Conquest of Egypt and the Founding of Alexandria. After Tyre, Alexander turned his gaze south to Egypt, which had long been under Persian control. The Egyptians, weary of Persian rule, welcomed Alexander as a liberator rather than a conqueror. In 332 BCE, he entered Egypt without resistance, and the priests crowned him as pharaoh, granting him divine status in Egyptian society. During his time in Egypt, Alexander founded the city of Alexandria on the Mediterranean coast. This city would become one of the greatest centers of learning, trade, and culture in the ancient world. Alexandria represented more than a military victory. It symbolized Alexander's vision for a Hellenistic empire that combined Greek and Egyptian cultures, a lasting legacy of his rule. Chapter 6. The Battle of Gaugamela, the final showdown with Darius. In 331 BCE, Alexander met Darius III in a climactic battle on the plains of Gaugamela. Darius had raised an even larger army than before, equipped with chariots fitted with scythe-like blades and war elephants, intending to crush Alexander's smaller force. The open plains favored Darius's troops, but Alexander's tactical brilliance turned the tide. Alexander carefully positioned his phalanx and cavalry, creating openings in his lines to nullify the impact of Darius's chariots. As the Persian forces advanced, Alexander led a calculated charge straight toward Darius. This surprise maneuver caught the Persian army off guard, and once again, Darius fled, leaving his soldiers leaderless. The victory at Gaugamela marked the end of the Persian Empire. Alexander's forces marched into the Persian capitals of Babylon, Susa, and Persepolis, where Alexander was declared the King of Kings. The Battle of Gaugamela was his crowning achievement, solidifying his control over the vast Persian realm and marking the pinnacle of his power. Chapter 7. The Battle of Hydaspes, the Gateway to India. With Persia under his control, Alexander pushed eastward, reaching the Indus Valley in 326 BCE. There, he faced King Porus of India at the Battle of Hydaspes. This battle presented new challenges, as Porus commanded war elephants, a sight unfamiliar and terrifying to the Macedonians. Undeterred, Alexander adapted his strategy. He waited for a powerful storm to obscure visibility, then led his troops across the river under cover of darkness. In a fierce battle, the Macedonian phalanx and cavalry outflanked Porus's forces, neutralizing the threat of the elephants. Alexander's victory at Hydaspes opened the door to further expansion into India. Although his troops, exhausted from years of continuous warfare, ultimately refused to march further, the Battle of Hydaspes demonstrated Alexander's ability to adapt to unfamiliar circumstances and overcome formidable opponents. Chapter 8. The Legacy of the Battles that Built an Empire. Each of these battles was a building block in the foundation of Alexander's empire. From the banks of the Granicus River to the plains of Gaugamela, Alexander's tactical brilliance, relentless ambition, and ability to inspire loyalty allowed him to overcome challenges that would have defeated lesser leaders. His empire stretched from Greece to the edges of India, creating a new world that blended Greek, Persian, Egyptian, and Indian cultures. Alexander's conquests were not just victories of arms but victories of vision. Through his battles, he introduced Greek culture and ideas to Asia and brought Eastern philosophies and sciences back to Greece. The fusion of cultures that resulted from his campaigns gave rise to the Hellenistic Age, a period marked by advancements in art, science, and philosophy. Though Alexander's empire would fragment after his death, the impact of his battles remained. His victories inspired generations of leaders, scholars, and thinkers. The battles that built Alexander's empire reshaped the ancient world, leaving a legacy of cultural exchange and unity that would endure for centuries. Through these battles, Alexander not only conquered lands but also transformed the cultures and people he encountered, crafting an empire that became a melting pot of ideas, knowledge, and traditions. His legacy as an architect of empire was built on the battlefields of Asia, where his courage, intellect, and unyielding